أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل. Brothers, don't block up the back area. Keep always the pathway there so people can walk into the back. All the brothers make their way to the back, please. There's a lot of space in the back. All the sisters' area today is dedicated to the brothers. We've moved the sisters somewhere else. Yalla brothers, please make your way. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات ربي وسلامه عليه يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. Dear brothers, dear sisters, it is no secret that the nations are fighting one another and are racing one another to achieve and to win one goal. And that goal is to reach to the youth before anyone else does. It is no secret that the entirety of the world is putting a great amount of effort to reach to the control of the youth. Why is this? Because the youth are the future. Because without the youth, we have no nation. Because the youth are the ones that are going to inherit the teachings and traditions of their fathers. Because if you control the youth, you control the future. Let us think for a second. Let us ponder to ourselves for a second. Is it a coincidence, my dear brothers and sisters, that the enemies of Allah are pouring hundreds of millions, rather billions of dollars into industries that benefit nothing except for destroying the minds and taking control of the minds? Let's have a look. Gaming industries. How many hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, are spent in the way of gaming? Hollywood. How many hundreds of billions of dollars invested into the movie industry? Sports. How many hundreds of millions of dollars invested in sports? Of course, not to make you fit. They don't want you to be fit. They want you to stay fat and lazy on the couch. You just watch the sportsman. You just waste your mind and waste your time on the sportsman. Hundreds of millions of dollars they pay sometimes for one player, so that you, youth, could aspire to be one day one of these loser players. Spends his life kicking a ball. MashaAllah. What a productive human being. On the day of judgment, these people are going to come and say, oh Allah, for humanity, what did I produce? I kicked a ball in short shorts. Social media. Hundreds of millions of dollars invested in social media. Pornography. Hundreds of millions of dollars invested in pornography. Why? In general, who are the masses that watch these type of things? Who are the ones that are addicted to these type of things? Is it not the youth? Is it not the youth? Wallahi, it's the youth. A beautiful saying of Umar radiallahu anhu, where he used to encourage the youth and spend time on the youth. He would say, Al-khayru kulluhu fi shabab. Allahu Akbar. All goodness is in the youth. In reality, I wanted to highlight one of these industries today. I wanted to highlight one of the most dangerous industries today. Some may say, Ya akhi, you're approaching the last 10 days of Ramadan. You should be speaking about this. Rather, I would say this is more important. And there is relevance to our time anyway. Because Ramadan is the time of change. Ramadan is that window of opportunity to make a real impact in your day-to-day habits. A real impact on your life. And as we know, the last of Ramadan is the best of Ramadan. The last of everything in general is the best of it. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالِ بِالْخَوَاتِيمِ, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says. That verily, the actions are based and judged by its endings. For I found this opportunity to grasp, insha'Allah ta'ala, and to make a real intention to use these last 10 days to ask Allah Azza wa Jal to rid us of some of the filthy habits that we have amongst us in this community that unfortunately many people don't speak about. It is a perfect opportunity while you are fasting. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, "As-sawmu junnah." Fasting is a protection and a shield. Because you become very sensitive when you fast. You become very conscious of Allah Azza wa Jal when you fast. You become more careful of not falling into bad deeds. Fasting is junnah. Fasting is a protection. Pornography is one of the worst atrocities that has befallen our youth today. Research shows, my dear brothers and sisters, research shows that it is as addictive as cocaine and heroin. Can you believe this? Maybe some of the elders that don't experience these things, they're surprised. But wallahi, the youth that are suffering in silence, the youth that are suffering in silence, they know very well these words. It is an addiction. And it is destruction to the mind and the soul of the youth. What is so evil and so bad about pornography? It's natural. Human beings doing sexual activity is something natural. Wallahi, this is the research that I will say, some of these facts that I'll mention, is research done by the kuffar, not by the Muslimin. This is their own scientists saying the destructive effects that pornography and masturbation has on a man and on a woman too. First and foremost, we have to acknowledge and we have to understand that this is something completely prohibited in Islam. This is the most important thing to us. Watching pornography and masturbating is something that is completely prohibited in Islam. If I may add, if someone is fearful, he is on the verge of committing fornication, zina, then the scholars say it is better for him to masturbate. Not to watch porn, to masturbate. This is the only exception. I feel I'm about to go to now one of the houses that are dedicated for this cause. I'm trying my very best to not use vulgar language as much as possible. And I'm about to commit zina, no, let me masturbate instead. The scholar said, okay, this is permissible. Or this is an exception to the rule, let's say. As to make this a habit and an addiction, this is something completely impermissible. That's number one. What is so harmful about pornography? I'll try to summarize it as best as possible. Because the second step of this khutbah is how we can overcome this issue. And as I said, inshallah, I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to give me tawfiq to summarize these points as best as possible. The first step, spreading awareness of the dangers of this industry. And once we start understanding the dangers of the industry and how effective and powerful it is, we will understand now why the enemies of Allah Azza wa Jal put so much focus on this industry. Why is nudity such a widespread thing? Why is pornography such a widespread thing? Pornography releases certain hormones in the body. What is called happy hormones. Dopamine, aka happy hormone. Dopamine is a natural reflex of the body to produce when you become happy and satisfied. But let's look at this process and let's look at what dopamine is teaching your subconscious mind when it is abused and overused. and released in portions that are extremely unhealthy, causing chemical imbalance in your mind. In order for us to be satisfied, we have to put an effort. We have to put effort. I'm not just talking about sexual satisfaction, I'm talking about all satisfaction. You come to the masjid and you pray all night. You go home with this feeling of satisfaction. I feel happy now, alhamdulillah. This is a dosage of dopamine being released in your mind. But after what? After you put a great amount of effort. I work hard. At the end of the week, I receive my salary. A dosage of dopamine. You receive this satisfaction after putting in a great amount of work. Dopamine shot. And the body, of course, loves our soul. Naturally, Allah designed us to want to live a happy life. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone is looking for satisfaction, yes? Everyone is looking for satisfaction, my dear brothers and sisters. You graduate from school or graduate from university. A nice big hit of dopamine. Alhamdulillah. I worked very hard for this satisfaction. This is how Allah created us. So what does your subconscious mind promote now? What is being promoted to your subconscious mind rather? Is that me as a man, specifically as a man, by the way, women go through this too. Women go through these hardships too. But predominantly it's a man industry, let's say. So what is happening now to your subconscious mind? Your subconscious mind is saying, work hard, you receive satisfaction. Subhanallah, the same message that is found in the Quran about Jannah. Is it not? Does not the Quran promote hard working? Does not the Quran promote وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ? You have to put that effort to be a muttaqi. You have to put that effort to be a pious person. You have to put that effort to work and strive hard for the sake of Allah. And to avoid haram. This takes a lot of effort. And then you receive the bliss. Then you receive the reward. After what? After eagerness, after aspiration, after working hard. This is when you are deserving of a dopamine hit. So the natural way of life promotes naturally. A man should be working hard to be satisfied. A man has to be putting some productivity, producing something of benefit, doing something of difficulty, and then he can be satisfied. Even with sexual activity with your spouse, there is some effort that has to be put before you receive that dopamine hit, yes or not? This is why some brothers are more fitter than others. Allahumma barik. It requires some effort. Now what happens when you become addicted to pornography? Now you start receiving huge doses of this chemical, of this dopamine hit. For doing what? For doing what? For opening a screen. Doing absolutely nothing. Doing absolutely nothing. And for satisfying yourself with your hand. Doing no effort. You didn't have to go through the effort of getting married, paying mahar. Working half your life so you can afford the princess of your dream. And then you receive that satisfaction. No. Now you open up a little website and you start receiving this dopamine hit. Hit after hit after hit after hit. What does the subconscious mind become encrypted to? What happens to your subconscious mind after that? As a young man that should be full of life and energy and aspiration, what happens to him? His subconscious mind starts to learn and say, you know what? I actually don't need to put effort to receive dopamine. I don't actually need effort. I don't need to produce. They've been lying to me all this time. I don't need effort to become happy. I can just sit on my couch or sit in my bedroom and I can become satisfied. This promotes laziness. This promotes lack of aspiration. This kills the will to do anything in life. This is what it does. This is what your subconscious mind now starts to learn. It starts to learn that I can be satisfied easily. I don't need to put effort in life. Let alone the diminishing of your testosterone levels. Pornography and masturbation is scientifically proven to destroy you as a man. One of the most important hormones you have is testosterone. Testosterone is what makes you a man. It what gives you that level of aggression, that level of strength. It is responsible for your body mass, for your muscle, for your bone density. Whatever defines masculinity in today's terms, you would find what is responsible for it is testosterone. We ask ourselves, why do we find so many feminine-looking youth, weak-minded, weak-bodied, no desire to drive, no desire to push forward, no eagerness to capture? Where are the old generations? Where is the power? Where is the will? Where is the hunger to be the best? The hunger to achieve, the competitiveness. The competitiveness of the youth, where is it? Most youth today, they have this defeated mentality. Wallahi, there is a reason behind it, my dear brothers and my dear sisters. There's a reason behind it. Because I grew up in Australia, my brothers. I grew up in Australia. I know the reality of the youth here. And I know 99.999% of youth, if they're not watching porn regularly, they've at least been exposed to it. Wallahi, from ages of 7, 8 and 9 years old. And ask the school teachers. I'm sure they've received some complaints. Don't say, not my child. My child's an angel. He doesn't fall into these things. Ya akhi, what's he doing in his room then 12 hours a day? He's reading Quran, mashallah. Ramadan. La, wallah, he's not. He's not reading Quran, my dear brothers. You have to wake up to your reality. You have to wake up to your reality, wallahi. As young as 7 years old, wallahi, my dear brothers and sisters. Don't say my son is too young, he's being exposed. Today of time of technology. Technology is everywhere. Even if he's not being exposed to pornography in the definition that comes to our mind, drive past the bus signs. Drive past any advertisement that your son sees. What do you see on these bus advertisements and the billboard advertisements except for nudity and naked women? What do you see? This is all part of pornography. So this in a nutshell, this is the effects. One of the most important or severe effects, I should say. It diminishes your will to live. It diminishes your will to fight. It destroys your testosterone. Which, again, causes depression, causes anxiety. As I mentioned, causes weakness in the mind and in the body. And this is if you are a single man. If you are married, it's even worse. Pornography destroys households for married men. It destroys households, destroys your entire family. Because when you are overstimulated and overexposed to so many different imagery, you come and look at your wife, the same wife every day. You say, what is this, ya akhi? This doesn't satisfy me anymore. This doesn't satisfy me anymore. You have 3, 4 kids. Let me go destroy my house. The problem exists, and wallahi, it's a reality. Very quickly, wallahi, there is so much more to say. So much more to say. But unfortunately, due to time, we can't say too much. How do we overcome pornography and masturbation? How do we overcome it? Now, as a young man, I need to seek help. I need to seek help. I'll give some beneficial tips, inshaAllah ta'ala, and these are general tips, of course. Number one, the first one you seek help from is Allah Azza wa Jal. After acknowledging, and please, I urge, if you do have a problem with this, to do further research yourself and see the damages that these things cause your brain and your mind. Wallahi, I have heard of cases, wallahi, 18-year-olds. 18-year-old, he's supposed to be the peak of his fitness, suffering from erectile dysfunction. 22, 23-year-olds, married, and they cannot get an erection due to their addiction. Imagine this, ya ikhwa. 22, 23 years old. He is living on Viagra in order to satisfy his wife. 23 years old, 24 years old. I'm not talking about a 50-year-old man or 60-year-old man or 70-year-old man. Wallahi, destroys yourself and destroys your family. The first step, ask Allah Azza wa Jal for His aid. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal for His help. Especially in this time. Number two, seek professional help, my dear brothers and sisters. You need to speak to someone about this problem. You can't challenge this thing yourself. In most cases anyway. Seek someone that you trust, that you know would not expose your secrets. Ask someone for their help or their guidance. Go to a psychologist, go to a professional, go to anyone that can help you. So long he is trusted. Third, identify the triggers. Identify what triggers you to open up this pornography. What are we doing wrong? Are our gazes are just everywhere, mashallah? We have no sense of fear of Allah Azza wa Jalla that we lower our gaze? Or that you look away from the haram? Or do we do like what some people, they try to mock Islam, a'udhu billah. And they say, oh, the first look is halal, so they keep looking. They say, I haven't looked away yet. It's still the first look. This is mockery of Islam, Allah. Identify what leads you to this filth. Identify what is the causing issue that is triggering you, that is making you go to this. And in most cases, of course, it's exposure to nudity and not lowering your gaze. As the Prophet ﷺ says, that the gaze is one of the spears or arrows of a shaitan. Don't think it's just one look, it's okay. Wallahi, that one look could keep you thinking, that one image that you saw could keep you thinking about it for a whole week. It is very dangerous. Wallahi, the matter is very serious, my dear brothers and sisters. Number 3, build positive habits in your life and reduce alone time. Most cases, when does someone go to these type of things? When they're alone. Subhanallah. Ya ikhwa, sitting at home like sitting ducks. This is one of the characteristics of the woman. I'm going to be straight out with the men here. Allah says about the woman, وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. Stay at home. As for the man should not be at home, ya ikhwa. The shabab, the young youth is in particular, they should not be sitting at home doing nothing. This is a very feministic quality to have, that a man enjoys, or he just has no passion to do anything, so he just sits at home and does nothing. You are very feministic if you do this, my dear youth. Of course, I'm not talking about the men that work from home or whatever. I'm talking about the people that choose to stay at home and just wither away in the time. With time, just wither away. Have nothing better to do. Couch potato. Go out, yakhi. Go work. Go learn. Go exercise. Build positive habits in your life. If you have absolutely nothing in your life, come sit in the masjid. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, the one who sits from salah to salah in the masjid, this person is in ribat. This person is in ribat. This person is in ribat. He mentions it 3 times. The one who sits in the masjid waiting for salah, you have nothing to do in your life. You have no work. You have no responsibilities. You're not playing a sport and exercise. Come sit in the masjid. It's as if the Prophet ﷺ said, it's as if you are defending the lands of the Muslims in ribat. You are there defending the lands of the Muslim by coming and sitting. It's a great reward, sitting in the masjid. As for sitting at home doing nothing, oh my young man, oh my youth, what are you sitting at home with the woman? You're going to help your mum cut up some lettuce for iftar? Do not have any free time at home. Do not sit in the home. A man's place is not the home. Number 4, the times that you generally and frequently fall into this sin. Identify that time. Where you are at that time. In most cases, as I said, it's at night when you're sleeping or when you're going to sleep. I have to push myself, ya ikhwa. I have to really bite my tongue and bite my nafs and say, I'm not going to take the phone into the bedroom with me. I'm not going to take my iPad or my computer, whatever I have, whatever I'm using. The problem happens when I sleep late, after everyone in the household sleeps. So give my phone. If you still live with your parents, give your phone to your mum. Say, give it to me in the morning. I don't want my phone tonight. Or if you have siblings, organize the house so that you're not sleeping by yourself in the room if you have your room by yourself. Number 5, creating a positive environment for yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, ittaqullah wa kunu ma'a as-sadiqeen. O you who have believed, fear Allah azza wa jal. Fear Allah azza wa jal and be with the truthful. Be with the truthful. Be with the community. Be with the people of the masjid. So you always have that, you constantly have that positive reinforcement. You're constantly in a positive state of mind. And positivity brings strength, wallah. When you are positive, you are strong, my dear brothers and sisters. When you feel down and depressed, you are weak and easily overshadowed and overtaken by the shaitan. Be with the strong people and you will be from the strong. Be with positive people and you will be positive and you will have the strength to fight off this temptation and this lust. والحمد لله رب العالمين أقول ما سمعتم وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Move forward, brothers, as much as you can. Move forward, barakallahu feekum. There's no space in the back anymore, Abu Ammar. There's no space in the back, خلاص full. Allahumma barik. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, we cannot be ostriches anymore, where we are exposed to the fitan and exposed to major issues affecting our youth. And due to our heads being in the sand, we think that everything is okay. I know many of you might not have liked what I mentioned today or what I spoke about today. I understand this. Forgive me for the vulgarity. But this topic is of great importance, and it has caused great destruction to our youth. And it is time really to spread awareness in a more open fashion, in a more transparent fashion. As for you, oh my dear youth, come and seek help from someone that is trusted. Come and seek help from a Muslim psychologist that can give you practical tips and steps to overcome this disaster and build and create a positive environment around you. Wallahi, wallahi, I have not seen anything more powerful than creating a positive community around you. I have not seen anything more powerful than making friends in the masjid. Positive friends. Each friend reminds the other of salah, of taqwa, of the fear of Allah Azza wa Jal. Even if you go back home and then feel weakened again, when you come back to the masjid, you will feel a sense of strength again. Subhanallah. It was said to Imam Ahmad, and I'll finish with this inshaAllah, that I find myself, someone said to Imam Ahmad, I find myself when I go around righteous people or pray in front of righteous people, I pray more better. I fix my salah. Is this showing off? He says, مَا اسْتَقَمْتَ لَهُمْ بَلْ اسْتَقَمْتَ بِهِمْ. Subhanallah. He says, you have not become upright showing off to them showing off to them. You have become upright with them. Subhanallah. Did you understand this, my dear brothers and sisters? When you are in positive environments, it makes you a positive person. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ taught us. Look at your friends, you will know who you are. You're around rubbish people, most likely you're a rubbish person. You're around positive people, even though you have shortcomings, even though you could be addicted to porn, you could be addicted to masturbation, but inshallah you have the potential to be a great person. You have the potential to overcome the tricks of a shaitan. Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt, wa afina fi man afayt, wa tawallana fi man tawallayt, wa barik Allahumma lana fi ma a'tayt, wa qina wasrif anna bi rahmatika sharra ma qadayt. Allahumma اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وتقصيرنا مع إخواننا. اللهم انصر أهل غزة. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في جميع الأراضي. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداءك أعداء الدين وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولا ذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون.